Meet the Mets, meet the Mets. Step right up and greet the Mets. Bring your kiddies, bring your wife. Guaranteed to have the time of your life because the Mets are really sucking the ball. Knocking those home runs over the wall. East side, west side, everybody's coming down to meet the METS Mets of New York town. Oh, the butcher and the baker and the people on the streets, where do they go? To meet the Mets! Oh, they're hollering, they're cheering, and they're jumping in their seats. Where do they go? To meet the Mets! All the fans are true to the orange and blue, so hurry up and come on down, 'cause we got ourselves a ball from the Mets of New York town. Give 'em a yell! Give 'em a hand! And let 'em know you're rooting in the stand. Come on and meet the Mets. Meet the Mets. Step right up and greet the Mets. Bring your kiddies, bring your wife. Guaranteed to have the time of your life because the Mets are really sucking the ball. Knocking those home runs over the wall. East side, west side, everybody's coming down to meet the METS Mets of New York town. Of New York town. Meet the Mets, meet the Mets, meet the Mets, meet the Mets.
Meet the Mets, meet the Mets. Head for the park and greet the Mets. Hot dogs, green grass, all out of shade. Guaranteed to have a heck of a day because the Mets are really rocking that ball, hitting those home runs over the wall.
All right,
In Jersey, Brooklyn, Queens, are turning on. Let's go Mets! That's the cheer all over New York town.
meet the Mets, meet the Mets, meet the Mets.
Meet the Mets, meet the Mets. Head for the park and greet the Mets. Hot dogs, green grass, all out of shade. Guaranteed to have a heck of a day because the Mets are really rocking the ball,
Game's
hitting
over.
those home runs over the wall. Oh, yeah, New Jersey, Brooklyn, Queens, are turning on. Let's go Mets! That's the cheer all over New York town.
Meet the Mets, meet the Mets.
Let's go Mets!
All right. We are live for the first annual We Gotta Believe Gala, sponsored by Coors Light. I'm rocking the Mets Coors Light like hybrid gear. We got the hats, we got the jerseys, I got the cups, we got the beer. And fellas, I'm gonna need quite a bit of it because I am full-blown mayor of Panic City. I am. If Clem's going to be the 96er man, I am the 69er. I am losing my mind. We have a great night. Well, no, it's not going to be a great night. It's going to be a fucking awful night. We have a good show planned for an awful night. We've got some personalities who are going to join us. We got Barstool guys who are going to pop in. We got some fan videos from submissions from the past month or so. And then also I might just off myself here on camera. Who knows? Who knows? Let's get nuts. Just take over for a moment while you look great. You look great. You look suave. The hat looks amazing. It's fantastic.
I look like a fucking like Batman supervillain. Let's call it what I look like. Right now.
I was gonna say Pilgrim.
You do? You know what you look like? What's his name in Daredevil? You look like Kingpin.
Kingpin.
You look like Kingpin on like those like graphic novel cartoons. That's what you look like.
So Sienna did say that to me once we were playing the Spider-Man video game, and she goes, "Daddy, you look like this guy." But I couldn't say it because anytime you say a fucking joke about your kid said, you get Ruth Kondo forever. But it's like
that is a misconception. Let me clear up Ruth Kondo. That's only preposterous political things and like social economic things. Your daughter would absolutely know about fucking comic book characters. That's fine. That plays.
So, so anyway, this was a big night. We've been planning this for months. We were excited about it. You know, I can only tell those guys in August of last year what would happen before the gala. We'd say, oh, we could push it back a week. The first 3 games were canceled due to COVID. And then the Mets got their dicks pushed up their fucking throat and then out of their asshole.
The dick went up our asses and out of the mouth and then like back in and back down. That's what this week has been. But
as promised, cake and punch.
I mean,
not a cake and punch date, boys.
Dude,
Coors Light night, boys. It's the chill time.
The only thing going in my body tonight is Blue Mountains, and it's supposed to be like chill out and let's enjoy like a post game beer, and instead it's like, oh no, I'm gonna need this to numb the pain. So I got my new cups here. We got Mets branded Coors Light cups here. Here's the thing. So for those who don't know the background, when Steve Cohen initially wanted to buy the Mets the first time, there was this rumored gala that he was going to have, which I'm sure would have been the greatest function of all time. I mean, this guy would have blown it out with like performances and art, galleries, and probably like the famous people of the world were going to show up. And then we all know what happened. Jeff Wilpon, being the sniveling weasel that he is, just fucked that whole thing up. And then now under COVID, of course, you can't be having these big gatherings. So we said, fuck it, we're going to do our gala. We'll be doing the We Gala Believe. And it was all supposed to be lining up with opening day, where we always win. It was going to be high spirits. It was going to be the Cohen era and Lindor day. And
we can't have that. This is perfect.
Where were you? Where were you, dickheads? Was there nobody who was going to say to me, "What are you talking about? This is gonna be a catastrophe."
This is us. This is so perfect. I wouldn't have it any other way. This is such Last Day at Shea vibes, where it was like we're going to have this big send off with Seaver and Piazza, but we're also going to do it immediately after the most soul crushing loss we've ever had. So this is what we do. This is who we are. Embrace it.
So
live in it.
And then, my spin zone, of course, well, you got to have one in the chamber, is we always win opening day and we always come out of the gates hot. And and we always lose. We never make it to the promised land. So let's reverse the juju, start losing early, get them out of our system, and next thing you know, it's a parade route with cake and punch. That's my spin zone. What I wholeheartedly believe at this moment right now is that this is same old Mets, because it is. It is. Like if we were going out there and the starting pitching was bad, and DeGrom had a bad game, and there would be things where I'd be like, all right, that's not gonna last. But bad defense, bad bullpen, bad clutch hitting. I've seen that movie every year for like 30 out of my 36 years of life. So what's to say that's gonna fucking ever stop? Ever, let alone this season.
And let's make sure to add one more to that too, because I know the people in the chat are going to be getting into it too. Looks like bad managing so far. So.
Oh my god! Luis Rojas. Give me Beltran. I'll take all the bad things I said about Beltran. Give me Luis. He is. I can't believe what managers do. Kyle, I know you could probably speak to this more, because I know out of everyone in the bunch, you're probably the most statistical and analytical and all that shit. But if I was a manager, I would manage every single game strictly based on Twitter. Every game, it would just be, it's tweeted out by @Mets. I don't want to hear any fucking nonsense. So I'm not going to bat McNeil 7th. I'm not going to sit Dom Smith. I'm not going to not sub in Dom Smith. I just don't want to be yelled at by the internet, because that's probably how he's going to end up losing his job. Steve Cohen's going to be like, listen, man, I'm on Twitter all day. He's fucking yeah, we can't have this anymore.
You also can't let McNeil hit opening day versus a lefty and then sit him 3 days into the season because he's not getting any hits. Like, it's solid contact.
Right. There's no reason of like, it's not late in the season. This ain't no Aaron Judge bullshit with the early season wear and tear. We're a fucking week into it. The guy's a professional hitter. Even if he was struggling, I'd have full confidence that he'd hit his way out of it. He has been hitting the ball. It's too early for any of that kind of bullshit. They should have been trotting out. They have a good enough lineup where they should leave it set and trot that shit out every fucking goddamn day. I don't care, righty, lefty, day game, night game, on the road, at home, splits, this, that. Those guys are all fucking killers if you just let them be. I don't need to play these fucking games. It's not, at least not now. It's like he's managing, for like the end of the world. It's like, just let these guys do their fucking thing. And then you pull DeGrom after 77. You let Stroman go deeper. It's like none of it's making any sense. And then somehow, some way, this bullpen, it's all new names, and they all fucking suck.
They all fucking I hate our bullpen so much. I hate it so much.
I'm going to say something right now. I might be a prisoner of the moment. This might be recency bias. I might be prisoner of the moment. I'm going to hate this bullpen more than fucking any bullpen I've ever hated. Wow. The Brady Hoopers, the Addison Reeds, the Aaron Heilmans, they're all going to be replaced by these fucking jamokes. I know that nobody has a good bullpen. I know that every team faces this. I know that we, as Mets fans and Mets Twitter, we exaggerate everything because we're passionate psychopaths with a mental problem. But these guys flat out stink. And if I was your boy Clem, if I was the Puerto Rican, I'd be like, I don't know, Steve, I'm not coming back until you cut me another, like a big fat check under the table. I mean, we need him more than anything I've ever needed in my life. And I can't believe I'll say it. At some point, we're going to have Joe DeMayo on, who's the biggest fan of Edwin Diaz. But I'm at the point where I'm like, please give me Edwin Diaz. That's all I want. I mean, it's
the fact that we haven't even seen him yet just tells you how the season's gone thus far. I've seen fucking Luke twice already. What are we doing here? And like I had Howie on the radio today. I'm listening to Howie on the radio, and he's like, well, because of like the COVID layover now, like they haven't pitched in 10 days. Nobody wants to hear that. It's the beginning of the season.
And also fucking then get him out there too. I'm getting worried that like now he's gonna have too much time off. Like throw him out there, even if it's a non-save situation. Get some confidence in your bullpen. Like look at that, we had a 1-2-3 inning. I mean the numbers are appalling. It's I don't think you can have a worse start for a bullpen. And the fact that none of them are really, I know that short of Rivera or Hoffman or Andrew Miller for those years, or some of these Lidge on his very few like big name relievers that always count. I know a lot of the times it's going to be journeymen and mop up guys and specialists that you just throw against the wall. But I mean, these names do not inspire any confidence. I don't feel a huge season coming from any of these fucking guys anytime soon.
Yeah, Kirk Wendell looks pretty fucking good right now, doesn't he? Dennis Cook ain't so bad in 98 with his like 2.5 ERA.
Right. Dude, bring me Dennis Cook right now. Sign me up. We'll take anything. It's because there's just nothing worse in this world. I might slap it on a t-shirt. There's nothing worse in this world than a bad bullpen because it just erases. I mean, just God damn it. The Jacob deGrom shit is just getting. We're well beyond preposterous, but every single time they tweet out the stats and the number of starts that he's lost, where he has like a fucking 1.8 ERA, he's got like a 2.08 ERA since 2018, the lowest in the league, and he's like 25 games under 500. It's fucking preposterous. At some point, I get worried. I mean, Jake is such a fucking assassin, but at some point, does he start to break a little? Is he just like, God damn it, I don't like fuck this?
He's going to have a mental breakdown. He just always seems to take it in stride. I think he's going to throw 102 miles per hour all the time, but at some point, he's just going to snap. And you need mental fortitude to get through this, and we've just been wearing him down. His mentality is that of like a 75-year-old. He's been
spin zone for Jacob deGrom. It's almost it adds to his mythical like reputation. Like this guy has to be perfect every game, even to try to get a win, and he almost does it every fucking time. But no, like I think that's actually I've always said if I was a fan of another team, I would say that he's blatantly doing steroids. Like no one just keeps throwing harder and harder. I think it's the rage. I think it's like he adds 2 miles per hour every year of pent up rage. It's like 0.10 miles per hour for every like blown save, and eventually you're throwing 110.
That's the Bruce Banner in Avengers. That's my secret. I'm always angry.
Right. God.
And then you got people like crying for Shane Bieber and the Indians. Like, oh, can this guy please get some run support? It's been 2 fucking games, Indians. Yeah. Like, let me tell you.
Well, yeah, it's gonna
2014 until now. Then come talk.
Clem.
It's a cake night again. I'm eating the cake.
We got Joe DeMayo. You want to bring him on?
Yeah. Well, wait. We got Joe DeMayo. He's got some takes for us. I think he's one of the more level-headed fans. We're gonna have all the Barstool personalities pop. Oh no, you know what? 8:00. Rico Bosco told me he was gonna pop on. So it's 7:58. Let me make sure he's still down. Then we'll talk to Joe. While I text Rico here to make sure he's still down. Tell me, Mr. 96er, where your confidence level is at on your big bet.
Well, I fucking called the run total last night. Give me credit for that one. So I'll tell you. Every game, I feel fucking like great. This morning, I felt so happy. But I'll tell you, that bullpen, it's gonna fucking kill us, man. They're not even fun. There's not even like fun guys that you lose with.
No, that's what I mean.
They're like creative characters that you couldn't pick out. There he is. This is the man we need to hear.
Fucking Bosco outside of the house. He told me he could pop up right from the phone. Rico, where are you at, brother?
I'm there. I got to go for walks on nice April nights and try and get some kind of enjoyment in my life because we stink. And I didn't listen to the beginning, but Clem, are you saying now that like there's pressure because we're paying these fucking guys? We're no longer like the little sisters of the poor and the homegrown talent? Because that's the feeling I'm getting now. Like,
no, I'll tell you. You know what the feeling is, Rico? It's not. It's just the Nets. It's just the same old Nets.
And listen, Conforto's like a god in my house. He's got to deliver with the bases loaded, Mikey. You got to fucking get some hits.
I mean, he left 8 on base today, I think. Like 13 for the series.
No.
I mean,
8 on base?
It's like 13 on base for the series. I think he had 8 today.
Hey, Mr. Boris, put that in your fucking binder. Shove it up your sister's ass. I threw that in there for Rico. I know Rico's a sister's ass guy.
Big time sister's ass guy.
Rico, where are you? I mean, I'm nervous. I'm scared now because I was just saying it's bad bullpen, bad defense, bad clutch hitting. If it was unusual things that we were doing poorly, I'd say this is just a funk. But this has always been the problem with these guys in the past regimes. It's always these 3 things.
Still 4 games.
I
know that's the culture. Like, I get it. I saw you battling people being like, like why are you overreacting about the Mets? It is 4 games, but you're right. You can't start having these bad habits that we've had for bad habits forever.
And how many times are we wrong with our overreacting? Yeah, we overreact, and then we end up being proven right. If the bullpen had big names, big performers, and they were, slow out of the gates, I'd say, all right, relax. But, who's to say that these guys are going to get good when they're not good? They have nothing to prove that they're going to be.
No, I think the lineup too, like the analytics and shit, start to bother me. Play Dom Smith every day. I don't like Kevin Pillar.
Keep
already.
it simple.
Listen, there's just a lot. Now there's a lot of pressure. You start paying these guys, like, I don't know, man. Lindor's got to deliver. We talked about Alonso. I don't know how long this slump carries over. He's been playing pretty well. It's just tough. It's tough to watch. Plus, it's a brutal division. It's not like we're like in the NL Central and we're like, all right, we could fucking coast with 81, 83 and make the playoffs. Like, you got to win 95 games in this division. Smitty's already talking up the Phillies. He's like, the Phillies aren't bad either. And I mean, the Marlins made the fucking playoffs.
And then you got the pest Marlins, who even if they're not good, have always been a thorn on our side. The Braves have always had our number. The Nats still have some monster players, from a World Series championship team. It was not going to be easy with us playing well. If we're going to be shooting ourselves in the foot, I mean, fuck.
I loved Rico too. Like the WFAN caller came out there where you could tell he didn't want to talk analytics right now. He's like, just put Dom in every fucking game. I'm with you.
Clem, you're talking to a guy who once waited online for 40 minutes with Francesa to ask if I always forget the fucking guy's name. Who was the fucking gas can we had? Big fat guy in 2015. Rajay Davis. I asked Francesa, I said, Mike, I know it's a little early, I'm getting ahead of myself, but is Rajay Davis going to be a playoff roster guy? Because he fucking gives us good at bats. He's like, Rico, why don't you make the playoffs first? Then we'll talk roster spots, okay? Click.
One of the all-time WFAN callers.
Listen, I think Rajay Davis should have a fucking statue out there. I love that guy. He gave us all good at bats.
I love that. Like I think that's one of my favorite things about being a baseball fan, and in my mind, these things are always unique to the Mets, and I know they're not, is having favorite players that just don't make any sense or weren't even good. Like, I fucking love Jay Payton, like more than anybody I've ever loved in this franchise, and I don't know why. That's baseball for you. That's baseball, Susan.
There's a ton of people who love Andy Chavez, obviously, for the catch. I mean,
really?
Robin Ventura was like a rental at the end of his career. He's like my all-time favorite Met. Like,
I would suck a dick for a guy like Olrud or Ventura. Those guys came in and out of our life so quick, and I feel like they were here for like a decade.
John,
I think they got to go get winners. You got to teach guys how to win. Moustakis. I don't know. There's a bunch of names that you'll start to see. Like, find a team who's going to dump and go get a veteran to maybe tell Alonso, like, hey man, it's not you. Like, this is what I'm used to. Like, I don't know. We just got to get fucking better. And it's a brutal division. And this is where I had all my sights set for now is the Mets. But the Mets are going to be good. So,
yeah, I mean, Clem, I know the Knicks were supposed to just bridge you to baseball season, and now it may look like the Knicks are going to have to be, the main thing you focus on. I know it's 4 games. I know we're being silly. We're going to get Frank the Tank on here eventually. I'm sure he's going to overreact even more so than we are. But again, it's just not encouraging when it's bad players and no names who are playing bad. It's like, well, why should we expect this? I mean, maybe Lugo comes in and Diaz is good and we have an 8th and 9th, and then these guys all move down a slot and that changes everything. But, it's just tough when it's, Miguel Castro and Trevor May and fucking, these guys who are not exactly the most inspiring.
In what world does VR start today? And you sit McNeil when JD Davis just has like a bruised hand. That way, how do you expect to win a game? Makes no sense.
Yeah, where are you at on Luis Rojas, Rico?
I don't know. Who's this guy? I like his paisley tie. I'll tell you that.
Oh,
that's our boy Kyle. That's our producer here, man. Yeah.
All right.
Respect. What do you got on Luis Rojas?
I mean, he's new. I don't know if Beltran was the guy, obviously. And you would have, even if we somehow skated through that and kept that, you would have had every fucking back page, like, pun headline, like trash cans or fucking gas can. Like, I don't know. I mean, Rojas is making his way. I think MLB managers at a certain point, like, listen, he's going to make fucking bad decisions. He's made bad decisions.
Yeah. You think? Yeah, that's all he's done so far, Rico.
Yeah. But it's like, six of what the evil you know is better than the evil you fucking don't. What would you rather have? La Rosa fucking having a few Coors Lights and driving down the fucking highway instead of being
Responsibly here, never drink and drive, always call an
that's
Uber.
right. He got
know what
caught.
you're
I'm
saying.
just saying, fucking LaRussa, he's got demons. I don't forget.
No. I get that, but here's my thing: is like if he were just if Rojas was just going to come in and be like a figurehead, and maybe that's what's going on. But if he's the one getting cute with these lineups, I don't know anymore with our new infrastructure. If it's like, do we have the front office setting our lineups, or is this a Rojas thing? Because if he's going to get cute every night with the lineup and make these dumb non-moves basically and bad bullpen moves, he doesn't have the resume to do that. He doesn't have he doesn't have the leap yet. So
This is the problem with Rojas. And I know Rico has my back on this. Rico, he is an Alou. He needs to change his last name to Alou. Yep. If he was Luis Alou, he wouldn't have fucking sat.
Brilliant mind. Brilliant baseball.
Is Felipe alive? He's rolling over either in his grave or in his bed. He's rolling over somewhere right now.
I'll tell you what. You know what Rojas needs to do? Change his last name to Alou and start peeing on his hands. Then we got a baseball manager.
Bro, you heard about that, right? My dad used to tell me when we were 7. He's like, yeah, they piss in the bowl and no gloves. Yeah.
That's real baseball right there, man. That's like, the Molinas, Posada, and fucking all, and the Alous, they're all pissing on everything.
Maybe Cohen should start cracking some heads and be like, it's only 25%. Be like, you know what? Until we get fucking 10 games over 500, free concessions, and then walk into the locker room and be like, hey, Pete, you don't start hitting, you're costing me fucking money. Start taking shit out of his locker.
Sure, give me a little accountability for the Cohen era. I'm down. I mean, you have to imagine they're not going to be like a crazy, no, I don't think Rojas is getting fired anytime soon, but it's also like, dude, you were an interim manager. You were never like the guy. He's not going to have too much slack. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing that he's going to go out there every night trying to manage for his job, but I don't know. Rico, so where are you at? I'll let you go in a second, but are you like, this, it's still early and we're fine, or you like this is going to be indicative of more things to come?
No, it's like it's still early, but you got to change the bones of the house if that means anything. You know what I mean? Like it's like
okay. So what do you do though? I mean, it's like they already had their big off season. They already did what they thought that they were doing.
Yeah, I don't know. They got to hit the baseball and they got to fucking catch the baseball. Like the other day, McCann hit your glove. The rule is touch it, catch it. Like move off the thing and then come back. I don't know. I thought that was on McCann more than who threw it, the third baseman.
Yeah, I feel like McCann's been out there, wild pitches. He's trying to stop balls. It's been a grind for McCann. I'm not ready to throw him under the bus, but I mean, I feel like they did make their moves, and if
they just gotta hit, they gotta fucking
somehow
get Diaz into get Diaz.
Hit. So.
I don't know.
All right.
Listen, Carrasco's going to come back and be a plug. That's going to help us. But like, how many times? Who started today? Peterson?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
How many fucking guys do we have pitching for us that should be selling insurance somewhere in like Bellevue? Like,
yes. And I can't tell. Like, I see these guys come up, and they'll always. I think Monzo, Francesa's producer, is a big Peterson guy. There's always a couple people who I value their opinion on sports, who start to get in my ear like, no, you know what? This kid is the real deal. You got to watch him. He's actually going to be, he's going to be a great number 5. He's more got like middle of the rotation type stuff. And then I start watching him. I'm like, no, he doesn't. No, he fucking doesn't. These guys, they're not going to, you got a couple guys at the front end and then the back end's going to be what it is. I start to drink the Kool-Aid.
This is the last thing I'll say too. Managing to the save has ruined baseball. So if it's in the 7th inning or the 6th inning, and you have 2, 3, 4 coming up in a 1-run game, and you say, hey, our best chance here to get to the next guy is to throw Edwin Diaz in the 6th or 7th inning.
Fucking do it.
It's my dad equates it to like putting Darrell Revis back when we was with the Jets. He only covers Randy Moss in the 4th quarter.
Right.
Like, I know it's apples and oranges, but to save the game, you got to get through the 7th.
Right.
So put your best pitcher in right now, and it's managing to the save is really what is a major problem.
I feel like that should be like antiquated by now. Like everybody knows that, but when they still function that way, it drives me fucking nuts. Let me ask you this before you go. How's your father doing on with the Conforto stuff, knowing how bad he's been out of the gates?
I mean, he's got a long leash. It's kind of like me at Barstool. Like you do a lot of bad things and you piss on the carpet. and like they go get the piss stained carpet to help you out. So he's got a long leash, but he's he's struggling. He's got his Facebook group of people he watches the game with, updates every pitch. So he's got his people. Listen, he still wants us.
Crazy that like you are the less crazy Bosco in your family. That's
without
not
a doubt. I'll tell you. I don't know if I've told you this story. It's an all-timer. In 86, 86, the pitcher, it was a day game for Game 6. My dad called the hotel where Houston was staying in New York. He called the guy and goes, "Hey, can I have Mr. Clancy's room?" Or whoever the fucking guy was. At 11 o'clock. The guy wakes up. He's like, "Hello?" He's like, "Yeah, I want to make sure you're getting your rest. Like, let's go Mets." Guy hangs up the phone. Calls him back at 2 in the morning. The front desk. The lady goes, "He's not taking calls." My dad goes, "Yeah, I figured that. Those asshole Met fans. Can you tell him his sister had a baby?" The lady gets back on the phone and goes, "He doesn't have a sister." My dad goes, "Good. You woke him up?"
His sister had a baby. Your sister's ass. I love it, man. Nobody better than the Boscos. Thank you for coming on tonight, Rico. Let's go back.
Still a lot of game. We'll be all right.
A lot of game left. A lot of ball game to be played.
I've put in a request for Papa Bosco to come on the podcast at some point, and Rico didn't shoot it down immediately.
Yeah,
absolutely not. No, I'll get him on. I'll have to be like Caesar and like tame him a little bit, but we'll get him on.
All right, thanks, Rico.
And he's like me; he don't work for free, so there's got to be some kind of merch coming down the line.
A couple Coors Light for the man.
We'll get the Blue Mountains for our guy.
Golf shirts.
Have a good one, dude. I mean,
And listen, this is what I think we should the bullpen thing. You wouldn't like if it was 7th inning, bases loaded, 1 out, you're down 2. You don't pinch hit your second best or your third best hitter. You pinch hit the fucking beast off the bench, right?
Right.
Unless you're Luis Rojas, then you just let Dom sit there and watch the game. But other than that, throw your fucking guy up at when the game is in the reach and you have down, son.
I think you're muted, Kyle.
He doesn't stick to what he's saying. Like, Pilar's in the game to face the lefties. That's the reason he started opening day. And now there's a righty in the game, and you got Dom on the bench, and you have the chance to score. And he's like, well, I'm feeling good about his at-bats. It's like, no. He's starting to begin with. He shouldn't even be in the game unless you say there's a lefty, which there's not one on the mound.
Do you think that he is making these calls, or do you think he's being told to? I almost liked knowing, like, when we knew, yeah, you eating that cake, you motherfucker. When we knew that Brody was texting Mickey, like, as silly as that was, it was kind of like, all right, at least we know what's going on here. And I know who to yell at. I know who to be mad at. I don't know. Like, I could see them being like, yeah, we don't let Rojas make these decisions. He's an interim manager who, like, stuck around because, we got in a fucked up situation and we call the shots. Or are they letting him do these things? If it's his call, he's made bad calls in every single instance of all 3 games so far. So I know it's early, but it's also like, well, until you do something good. What was it right off the bat when what was it? Right away, it was like a great defensive play on that relay where they got I think Reed Hoskins out at third or whoever it was. And I was like, oh, okay, like shut everybody up. There was, if that's our lesser defensive outfield, like that play doesn't get made. But then from there on out, it was like every single instance where that move could have backfired, it did. So, until he does something good, I feel like he's got to kind of earn it where we actually believe in him a little bit.
I need some fucking positivity. I need someone whose fucking grass is greener right now.
You want Joe DeMayo? I mean, Joey D is he's right now. Is he ready to go? There he is. What up, dude?
Yo.
How we doing, man?
What up, fellas?
Yeah, are you? Can you bring us some positivity, or are you in Panic City with me?
No, I don't. It takes a lot to get me into Panic City.
How old are you, Joe?
Look at his
I'm
shirt.
33.
Yeah, what the fuck is wrong with you? Every time I fight with people like you, they're like, yeah, I'm 18. And I started watching, the first team I ever watched was like, the 06 Beltron team. But when you're 33 and you've been living this life, like, why are you not fucking so
Beat you down by
I don't know. I feel like it's like a beaten baby syndrome, basically, or so beaten wife syndrome, not beaten baby. I hope there's not a beaten baby.
Nice.
Beating wife syndrome, where it's just like.
No, I think we all have that. It's the same reason I keep coming back opening day, hope springs eternal, the whole 9. but I also know, how these things tend to end, and I just can't. I can't have fool me once, fool me 1,000 times. Yeah. It's kind of like you gotta. But good on you for positivity. So
look, I'm not gonna sit here and say I think everything's awesome and wonderful. That would be pretty foolish. With that said, we're through 3 games. I think the team has kind of been what we thought it would be in a sense through 3 games. Like the offense is, today was awful with leaving a quadrillion people on base, but yesterday's game, they put up 8 runs. They're going to hit. There's no question this lineup is going to produce runs.
Yeah, but what scares me is last year they hit 2. What was it? We were like one of only 5 teams in history to miss the playoffs with the team OPS over whatever number it was.
Yeah.
I feel like with the Mets, it's often we've had those teams in the past where it's feast or famine, where it's a home run or nothing, and we can hit, but it's always the clutch hitting is missing. And you put up 8 yesterday, but in the other 2 games, there's been clutch hitting. There's been no clutch hitting, and everyone left on base. So, like I said, it just gets me scared when it's like a lot of the same old mistakes we're making.
Sure. Yeah. Ultimately, they didn't change a ton of pieces in the lineup. Ultimately, right. They got Lindor, obviously, the big fish. He's going to be a stud. I don't think anyone here would disagree. McCann should be fine, but the lineup's mostly the same. Where the difference I think you're going to see this year is the starting pitching. We're throwing fucking Michael Waka and Rick Porcello and absolute nobodies.
Ricky Two Freds was tough last year. Yeah. I was trying hard to be positive for that guy.
Corey Oswald and they were going deep to get people to pitch for starting. The bullpen's going to be the killer. There's no question. I've talked about it all spring. I'm obviously optimistic about a certain guy. But
you know what? I finally capitulate where it's like I think it's more it's not as much how confident I am in Diaz as it is how not confident I am in everybody else.
Right.
At this point, I'm begging for Edwin Diaz. Put him out there. Let's see.
Here's the problem. He's going to pitch tomorrow. And it's going to be on 14 days rest, and he's going to walk 2 guys, and then you're gonna text me or something because Joe, what's going on with everything?
What's gonna happen? I'm gonna fucking blame it all on you when he overthrows his first pitches, walks the first 2 guys, and gives up a home run for sure.
Yeah, but the bullpen. What they need to try to do is hold 4 as best they could until Lugo gets back, and if they're competitive by once really June is when teams will really start listening on trades. Mid-June is when you can make a call and they won't hang up on your face, essentially. Basically, as soon as I could, I'm calling every team that sucks and saying, your best reliever, what do you want for him? They got to add multiple relievers to this bullpen if you want to be a serious contender.
That's the thing is let's get Lugo back, sure. Let's say that Diaz bounces back, great. You still need
bounce back from what? What does he need to bounce back from? What does he need to bounce back from?
From his existence, okay? From just he still needs to. Last year did not exercise the demons for me of the year prior to that.
Okay. Well, what I'd say is I think the year that he was very poor for the Mets actually the anomaly from his.
Yeah, well, that's we hope. Yeah,
so he was good the 2 years, really good the 2 years before that. Obviously, the year before he was all time. That's why they gave up freaking Jared Kelenic and and Justin Dunn. Who did you see his line today? He walked 8. Pretty impressive. It's like he stayed with the Mets. I think Diaz. I think the 2019 season, the baseball really screwed with him, and behind the curtains a little bit. Some guys in AAA, because in AAA they actually use the same baseball as the major leagues in 2019, and you guys in AAA, if you look, you could probably see who they were. Some people that have some talent that were horrendous in AAA in 2019. They're basically dude, I can't feel the seams where I'm throwing my breaking ball. Just the way they had the ball, I can't feel the seams. Diaz's fastball was fine in 2019. It's just every freaking slider just spun like a helicopter right down the middle and got parked. And now 2020, his slider was back to being elite. So will Edwin Diaz blow games? Absolutely. Will he give up runs? Absolutely. Is he Mariano? No. But
will I blame it all on you every single time?
Yeah.
Yes.
Here's the thing. If I'm going to come out and be so openly supportive of the guy, I have to be willing to take shit when things don't go right. That's the way it goes. You can't step out in front and then be like, well,
Yeah, I mean, Joe DeMayo's going to blow Edwin Diaz all the time, and then when now another guy we're very I think split and kind of polarized as a fan base and on the show is Brandon Nimmo. That's another guy I know you're very high on. I just can't get behind him for some reason. It's like I look at the numbers and I see where his value is, and I get it, and I still just don't like the guy. It's just something.
Is it the smile? Is it do you hate the sprint on a walk? Because I'll tell you, that's the one thing that turns me off a little bit.
Yeah.
We're not that's the one thing I have on him is like, all right, dude, you walk. They're not going to throw the ball over the fence. You're not going to get second base.
It's like the reverse. It's the polar opposite of bat flipping. It's like you're trying too hard and it's not cool. And then the God stuff drives me crazy. Yeah. And it's not really his fault, but I feel like he shouldn't ever be playing center.
Right.
And so it's not even necessarily all his fault, but he's just one of those guys that's like.
It's one of those things too, where like if he was playing like before analytics and you're just looking at the eye test, you're like, this is an average dude. Like throw all the numbers at me you want. Like he had 2 dink singles today and like 15 walks on the season already, and like he's not. We argued about it on Twitter yesterday. Like he's not like he's fouling off pitches. It's not like he's having like you can tell me he's got a good command of the strike zone, but then he would strike out looking more times than not, which is not the case. It's just like he's not that big of a threat with the bat. The fact that he's walking all the time,
totally agree.
Basically, doesn't make sense.
It's like Brandon Nimmo has a good eye,
right?
Yeah. Like there's not, he's never going to strike fear into anybody's heart. And I know that there's plenty of other guys in the lineup to do that. But when we're like, well, let's bat McNeil 7th because you got to get Nimmo at the top of the order. It's like I don't know about that. I'd rather a guy who can work with that bat be the priority. But I know you're very high on there as well, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, center field is obviously not where Nimmo belongs. We all know it. Like I would never try to pretend he's a good center fielder because he's not.
Right. That's just what we do here on the Mets. We just play people out of position.
Right. Yeah. Let's be honest. The DH really fucked us more than anybody else because Nimmo will be chilling in left where he's average to a tick above probably. You would have signed Jackie Bradley or somebody and had a real center fielder. Dom at first, even though Pete sneakily playing a good first base to start the year.
His throws are scaring me a little bit. He's had a lot of plays where he's actually throwing the ball around the diamond, but some diving pops.
All in all, I don't expect Pete to be a Gold Glover. I just need him to not screw up too much.
Right.
But with Nimmo, I think he's just he was made to play on the Moneyball A's teams in the early 2000s. 100%.
Exactly. But that to me is that's not what we are anymore. We're supposed to be a Cohen team, a big team. We're going to put boppers out there. We're not going to do that nickel and dime shit.
Oh, they're gonna. They have boppers. I mean, up and down this line, they're going to hit for power, which is why I think having that guy like Nimmo actually really does fit the lineup at the top of the order, which to Kyle's point, I don't give a shit if they're afraid if they just won't throw strikes to him or whatever the case may be, and he takes his walks, get on base because now Lindor's popping a 2-run home run, or if Lindor gets on, Pete's popping a 3-run homer.
Nimmo BP, baby. Nimmo BP. Nimmo on base. Nimmo. You don't like facing Nimmos when he's on the other team because he grinds your fucking pitcher and he gets on base and he runs and he smiles. And I know as fans, we hate that guy.
If Nimmo was on the Phillies, you'd be like, this fucking Nimmo guy. I can't believe we have to face this guy 18 times a year.
Sure, but I also feel like who I hate more than that is true scary fucking batters. And if we're gonna be in this Cohen era, I feel like, and you can't just do it all in one off season. So I get it. But
I'm on base percentage. It's just when people turn around and go, "Well, he's the 4th best outfielder in Major League Baseball." Because
I've never said that. I've defended him, but
no, not you.
Yeah, no, I think
when he played at an MVP level for 6 games that one year, and everyone was like, he's an MVP caliber player.
No.
Like you said with the eye test, you can look at that guy and you just know he's not a fucking a major threat. But can we? Is it a lineup thing, an analytics thing now where they want Lindor in the 2-hole?
Yes.
You don't want to put McNeil and Nimmo at the top of the order because it feels. I just hate putting McNeil so deep in the order, and I know that's almost a good thing because there's so many good hitters in front of him. Yeah. But is it out of the question to do Nimmo, McNeil, Lindor?
No, and I think you'll see different variation. You'll see different variations of the lineup. Like I know fans, and like I tweeted today too. It's just like I give people all the credit in the world to have the energy to bitch about the lineup every single day when it comes out. I give you credit. That to me,
until he stops doing like blatantly stupid shit. I'm not gonna nitpick. Righty lefty. You should have swapped 3 and 4.
Yeah.
But when it's like Dom's on the bench, you don't put him in at all. When it's McNeil batting 7th, when it's like Kyle was saying, righty lefty things, like now you're contradicting what you said. I'll complain about those things. Once we get in a groove, I understand. Talking about it every day is silly. But here, we've played 3 games and we've had 3, questionable moves and questionable lineups and bullpens. I'll probably yell about it every single time.
Yeah, fair enough. But I think right now the idea for most teams is you bat your best player second.
Right.
That's the thing. You kind of get them maybe even if it's a few extra at bats a year by batting them second. But there's going to be days where, Lindor's not going to play 162. So when he doesn't play, you go Nimmo, McNeil. You have flexibility. I think they have enough good hitters that you can position guys where you want, and if Conforto's continues to struggle, then you shift him down, you shift McNeil up or whatever. You just you play streaks. That's that's to me the best way to do lineup. You have in your brain how you would ideally map it out, but then you just play to how people are playing. If Pete's crushing it, you bat him 3rd instead of 4th or whatever to get him an extra at bat. But yeah, I think the lineup all in all should be fine. And yeah, with Nimmo, I don't think he's some superstar. I'm not pushing it like that, but I think he's an above average piece to a lineup, and he could be a key contributor on a winning team.
So where are you? I'll send you off on this note.
Yeah.
Are you a 96er? Are you a member of the 96er club? Where do you fall on Clem's prediction?
I refuse to change my stance. I committed to being a 96er on this day.
Honor.
There are three games will not change me. I see when I was waiting backstage, I saw Clem feeling a little flaky. He was sipping that Coors Light when you were asking him, Clem, are you still 96er? He's like,
what? The connection broke up. What?
Clem, hold your damn ground. Hold your ground. You're a 96er. You're the leader of the 96er club.
Diamond hands, man. You don't need no paper hands, bitch, here at We Gotta Believe. Stick to your 96.
Yeah, stick to your damn guns. Trust the Diaz. And, things. Oh, I cannot wait. I can't wait for August. I can't wait and he better pitch that day. Bauer better pitch that day. I want Bauer to pitch, and I want us to drop a 5 spot on him, and then I want him to take 2 of his baseballs away because he might be doctoring them.
All right, Joe DeMayo, thanks so much. You can follow Joe on Twitter at PSL to Flushing, right?
Yes, sir.
Yep, and he's writing on SNY.TV. So follow along on Twitter. He's one of the great friends of the program. Thanks so much, Joe.
I hope I got my positivity in. We got our positivity in for Joe. Everything's
I know.
right now.
I just sent the link to Frank, so we'll get a little gang. We'll get a little what's the famous line, Clem? Perfectly balanced as all things should be. So Joe comes in with some positivity. I sent it over to Frank, assuming he's still alive. Who knows? In the meantime, I got to get myself another Blue Mountains here. I got fat stacks of Coors Light over here. I got it delivered to the crib today.
Yeah, that drizzly delivery was.
I got cases on cases on cases. We got cans. We got bottles. We got it all here. We're gonna need it, folks. We're gonna need it all season long. I'm gonna make myself a little Coors Light fort here. I'm gonna be in the mix here with my all year long. We're gonna need our Coors Light. We're gonna have to chill out. We need Blue Mountains. We need them whether we're celebrating. We need them whether we are commiserating. But either way, ice cold Coors Light is going to be the only thing that gets me through this season, good or bad. At the parade, will cake and punch with a little Coors Light, you think, Clem?
All Coors Light. It's going to be Coors Light with the cake and punch on the side.
You know what we should get Coors Light to do is like design a can that says punch or something like that. So our cake and punch will just be
their seltzer. We could do their seltzer, the Coors seltzer. We make a punch.
I like that. A cake flavored Coors Light seltzer for the parade when we win it in 2031, because it ain't happening this year. And I know Frank the Tank agrees with me. Let's bring the big boy in.
Frank doesn't think we're going to win another game this year. Already 1-161.
Cheers, Frank.
This
Trash.
team is total fucking trash. Fool. You know the song? Won't get fooled again. Meet the new boss. Same as the old boss. And we know we fooled the fans again.
That's the anthem right now. Frank, I hate to admit it because I'm usually Frank, before you came along, I believe I was probably viewed as one of the most negative Mets fans in the world, or at least on Twitter. And then you came along and you made me look like the most positive guy on the planet. At times, I find you to be absolutely ridiculous with your negativity. But I got to be honest that right now I'm riding the train with you right into Panic City. It looks like same old Mets.
Louis Rojas literally is the dumbest motherfucking man on the fucking planet.
Better or worse than Mickey Callaway?
He's Mickey Callaway part deux without the sexual assault that we know of yet.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for the next scandal at this point.
I mean, let's put it this way. All he is Felipe Alu's bastard son.
Jesus Christ, Frank.
You're going Game of Thrones on him here now. What would it be if you were a Game of Thrones bastard and you're a baseball? Is that like dirt or is it like, what would be the last name? Grass? Cowhide?
That's a great question.
Jon Snow is a snow, right? Yeah.
I mean,
Diamond.
Yeah, it's
I mean, if he's Alu's son, why doesn't he have the name Alu? I mean, come on, this is ridiculous.
How about if you had to? Well, actually, let me ask you this right now. What do you think the win total is, Frank?
67.
67 wins. Okay.
A 67er. We have a 96er and a 67er.
Let's just make it an even 69, so we can have a 96er and a 69. Can you give me 2 more wins? Can you put 69 on there?
Nope. Here's my prediction is that Jacob deGrom this year will finish with an 0-8 record with an ERA of 0.57.
Okay, not a single win for Jacob deGrom with an ERA under 1. Okay.
Travis Mayday will have 13 losses out of the bullpen, an ERA of 26.96. David Peterson will lose 20 games. Michael Conforto will finish the year. He'll bat .230. He'll have 7 home runs, and he'll have 27 RBIs, all in games in which the Mets already had a lead.
Mm-hmm.
And he will leave no less than 2,520 people on base.
At this rate, that might be a conservative number. I might take the over at this rate.
I'll never forget in 2010. I'm a negative fan. The Mets signed Jason Bay, and people laughed at me, saying I'm being too negative when I said that Jason Bay would bat .230, hit 15 home runs, and get 60 RBIs. That's optimistic, compared to what he actually did.
Right. That I would have taken that during those Bay years. I would have said, "Fine, give me those numbers."
Bay, I hated the Bay signing. I knew he was the wrong player for this team.
Yeah, I mean, I remember that he was just banging those balls off the green monster in Boston, and like it was never going to be.
And at the time, we had the Great Wall of Flushing.
It was who was it? Matt Holliday, who was like the other option in outfield that year, right? And the Cardinals went big on him. We cheaped out as always, and we got what we get. Now I want to for the people
this bullpen is bullshit.
This call to the bullshit is brought to you by Coors Light. Get your Blue Mountains out.
And by the way, every fucking time they show that goddamn motherfucking Jamie fucking commercial on fucking Progressive.
You hate Flo from Progressive, huh? You just despise Progressive commercials.
Well, they found someone worse than fucking Flo.
Yeah. Now, for the people who maybe didn't see your video just the other day, I'm going to throw some names at you, some historical baseball players. You tell me what they would do this season for the Mets. You tell me what their stats would be. You tell me how they would perform, okay?
All right.
I'll start with Ted Williams.
He would bat 209 with 4 home runs and 31 RBIs, and he would strike out 211 times.
Barry Bonds on the juice. What would he do?
He would bat 180 with 5 home runs and 11 RBI.
What about what would Pete Rose do on this team? How many hits would Pete Rose get in a season on the Mets?
He would get 17 hits in 140 at bats. Joe DiMaggio would strike out 342 times if he played for the Mets. By the way, he struck out 326 times in his entire career.
So, I mean, I know that it's beaten into us with the negativity.
Sandy Koufax would go 1-18 with an ERA of 14.92.
What would you say if I took the 06 lineup and just dropped it into 2021 right now? How many games would that team win?
Well, we got a better shortstop now. Well, maybe kick one of them over to second base.
Are you happy with Lindor? Was that a signing that made you happy? I know you thought that wasn't even going to happen because
yes.
Falling, but
I think he's a special player.
Yeah. So is that give me what you're positive about with the Mets? Like Lindor,
Alonso's hitting looks good so far.
So obviously Jake, you're in on.
Yeah.
For Lindor, you like Pete so far. You like Dom Smith?
Yeah, he's having real good so far.
What do you think about Jeff McNeil?
He's fucking lost. He will bat 0-72 this year and go bingo,
Frank, because he's like a professional fucking hitter. If that happens, something has gone catastrophically wrong for him. If you want to tell me that Lee Davis is going to fall back down to earth,
the Mets fucked him up. They said you gotta lift the lift caution, swing up in his level swing. That sweet swing that he had, reserved the ball in left field is fucking gone because they got to have the fucking lift ratio. This is analytic. The department fucking assholes are ruining the fucking game.
Well, give me what your lineup would be. Frank Fleming tomorrow is manager of the New York Mets. What's the lineup you're trotting out there?
I'd leave him off. I'd bat McNeil second because he's the perfect number 2 hitter.
I'm with you on that.
I'd have Lindor batting for third because he's the perfect number 3 hitter.
I agree.
I hate this bullshit of making the number 2 hitter the 3 hitter number 2 hitter, especially in the National League when you got the fucking pitcher batting.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that. So who's batting cleanup?
Pete Alonso. Actually, no, change that. Dom Smith.
Okay, Dom Smith in cleanup. 5-hole.
Alonso.
6.
Conforto.
7.
Let's see, 7th.
McCann.
I'll go McCann.
Kev, you're closer to Frank than you are to me, so I'm not too shocked. You guys are 2 Pete's and a guy.
Yes,
I mean,
Frank are from the same. We're cut from the same cloth, but it's sometimes it starts to scare me when I'm fully on board with Frank Fleming.
I would if I was manager of the Mets, I would go into spring training. I would close the door for all my starting pitchers, and I said, "We're bringing the complete game back." Someone had that song. Was it Justin Timberlake? I'm bringing sexy back.
Oh yeah.
I'm bringing the complete game back.
Can you give us a little rendition of how that song will go?
I'm bringing the complete game back. Gonna get the full win. It's up to you to pitch. You're not gonna get an itch. I'm bringing the complete game back.
Bar. Let's go, Frank.
And that would be especially for Jacob deGrom, obviously. And this is what I would do. I would put a lot of pressure on my catcher to determine how he's pitching. And I want my pitchers to be honest how they're feeling. And I would stretch them out beginning in spring training. And I would work up slowly. I wouldn't want someone throwing 130 pitches on opening day. But 77 pitches and taken out in the 6th inning is absolutely fucking just mind-boggling. Because these fucking
it's not like
analytic motherfucking nerds. Did you see Don McGregor's his rant? Boy,
right
did
up
he
the
fucking
rectum.
nail it. Right up the fucking rectum. They fucking ruined his fucking sport.
No, we gotta
fucking analytics.
get LaGreca on one of our shows and allow him to have an uncensored rant where he can just say the words he wants to say.
So you stretch out DeGrom. The first game, the pitchers, unless they're like ask out a game, I'm gonna give the first start of the year 100 pitches.
Yeah, dude, that 77 pitch. I mean, that was crazy for a guy who doesn't have any injury concerns. For a guy who was a fucking horse and knows what he's doing out there, to pull him at 77.
Now, yesterday, Stroman was starting to get hit in the 6th inning.
Yeah.
And he had 85, 90 pitches. You got to use your eyes. You got to use your eyes. You can't be robotic about this. You can't be fucking robotic about this. And Luis Rojas is a fucking robot.
I'm with you. I totally agree. And I feel like things started to come unraveled for Stroman there when I think Hoskins led off with a double. But Marcus Stroman pitched a very good game the other day. And I don't know what it's going to take for Mets fans to fully embrace him. But right now, need him.
He could unblock me. That would help.
Well, Frank, I don't think he's probably not in the wrong for blocking you. Listen, if I'm blocked by Dom Smith, you can be blocked by Marcus Stroman. Because
I actually had a tweet ready yesterday to Trevor May, where he had before he struck out the last 2 batters, that if he would have given up a double and caused a couple runs to score, I already had the tweet ready. All I had to do was click send. You motherfucking suck.
Very clever. How about Frank's other tweet, Clem, that DMX would be a better manager than Luis Rojas, and according to the timeline, he's in a vegetative state. All class from Big Frank.
Do you know how many days I've seen that on my timeline, like in the trending column for Twitter? Probably. It's almost like it's a sponsored tweet. It's up there so long. It's almost like an ad. Click it.
You cold-hearted motherfucker. DMX is our guy, Frank. I will not
click to find it. Click to learn more. How to store vegetables.
Get rid of him, Kyle. Get rid of him. You're out of here.
Get out of here, Kyle.
I will not tolerate any on my program here as I record from fucking Mount Vernon. I'm not having that. No,
oh, yeah, that's a problem, Kev. You can't leave your.
He's backstage laughing maniacally right now.
I'm sure he is, that son of a bitch. Get him out! Get him out!
Oh my God!
I do appreciate that.
Right now. Wait, Frank Fleming. He's banned from the next Gala.
Oh.
2022 Gala. He's banned. Coming in until he makes amends with DMX. Which, by the way, little sidebar here. We've been talking baseball for an hour straight. Have you seen all of these good, heartwarming stories about DMX that have been coming out? They're awesome. They're I know that his image was one of being dark and brooding and scary, so maybe he wanted that. But all these awesome stories where he was really nice and generous and great to fans and great to people. We could have been playing those stories for the last decade, and he'd have a totally different persona.
It's tough too because even the music, the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer would come out on Christmas, and it would just be so tough. But I mean, he's
got a heart if he's doing those things, and you hear the stories about I heard one. It was something he was on the Hard Knock Life tour. He was supposed to be performing with Jay-Z, and he couldn't get. Weather stopped him from flying into Pittsburgh, and the next night he asked the arena to run it back, and he had everyone come back, and he just did a free concert, cool shit like that. Which I will say, I had an experience with a free concert, a free DMX concert in Mount Vernon. I think it was DMX and the Lox, free in 1999. It was at the peak of DMX. It was probably the most reckless thing I've ever done. I almost lost my life. The police ended up coming. And there was a massive stampede to try to just run out of there. And it was me. I think me and my brother were there. And I think we were just going to be the only 2 white boys who got trampled to death at a free DMX concert after his freshman year in Mount Vernon. I mean, that's crazy. So
I went to a show that I paid $60, $70 for in a sushi steakhouse like 2 decades later. So we definitely are from two different cloths, my friend.
What was that? What was the name of the place that you were was at?
The Stone Rose. It's in a mall, and it's this random corner store that just like a random corner restaurant that just opened, and they would have random fucking hip hop acts. They had I don't know. They had a couple of just random ass people, like even the guys from like the '80s that even before me. And DMX. I mean, the fact he even showed up, he came, he went on stage 5 hours after he was supposed to, after he ate a full meal with his family. And he did 1.5 songs and a prayer, and then he left. He did give me a pound though, so I mean, that absolutely.
I would trade. I don't need to see him perform anymore. Just pound it up. I'd love that. He was. I've been rewatching all of his. Actually, right before this all happened, I was watching a lot of DMX. Because that's just like what I do, relive my glory days. The clip of him on the Breakfast Club, where he talks about how much he hates Drake, and he since has made amends with him, but he's just like, he's like, I hate Drake. I hate his haircut. I hate his face. I don't like him. He's the type of guy, like, if we caught him in the elevator at the same time, like, I would beat his ass. It's like, what? Like, they just don't make him like Darkman X anymore. It's sad that, like, even if he pulls through, I don't think he'll be much of a performer anymore. But prayers up for Earl Simmons. And I feel like as far as vegetative states go, Mets right now with runners in scoring position, I mean, there's just absolutely no pulse to it. Let's get a little positivity in here. We have a couple fan videos, and I asked fans earlier in the month to give us their best moment as a Mets fan. So right now, I don't think anybody's putting these first 3 games on their best moments, but in years gone by, we've all experienced at least a couple moments of fun and happiness. So run this first one. It's a kid who was there for the 10-run inning against the Braves.
I hope I do this right. If this isn't what you were looking for, apologies. Best moment in my Mets life, easy. 14 years old, I was at the 10-run Mets game against Atlanta when Piazza hit it down the line and sort of corked his the famous home run. The best part of that, by far, is that it was fireworks night. Back when it was real fireworks, and they only did it once a year. It wasn't the cheap-ass streamer bullshit they do now. Because of that, that's why the stadium was still sold out and rocking, because in an 8-1 game in the 8th inning, obviously we all would have left. But my dad had a cyst removed from his back and had 7 or 8 stitches in his back when Piazza hit the homer. Jumps out of his chair, does the cheer, pulls every stitch. So now there's blood gushing down my dad's back, and this is like prime, like Sopranos time. I think it was 2000. So like he's got the tight polo tucked into his stupid shorts, and it's like this red brown just liquid gushing down his back. A cop comes, asks him to get it looked at. He tells the cop to go fuck himself, and he's not leaving. Then he stayed for the fireworks, which is a 20-minute delay, like a boss. Didn't go to the doctor till the next day. That could have ended very badly. By far the best moment. Worst moment for me, underrated bad moment that doesn't get to
keep it right now to this best moment because I don't need any more negativity. But that's a very interesting little wrinkle that had it not been fireworks night, that the stadium would have not necessarily wouldn't have been rocking the way it was, because that footage of that that ball screaming down the line and the Piazza like tiger type fist pump, and that was one of those days where like they said Citi Field, Shea Stadium was going to like collapse. But it could have just been, for 5,000 diehards that were remaining if it weren't for fireworks night. And as far as your dad just like bleeding out to stay for the fireworks, like I can understand staying for the rest of the game and all that. To stay for the fireworks when your shirt is soaking up your blood, that's some next level Mets fandom that you just got to tip your cap sometimes.
Like a creature. It's like gremlins. You can't feed them after a certain hour. Otherwise, it's like into like blood everywhere. Telling the cop who's trying to put you on like a stretcher to go fuck themselves. That firework night though. Did you guys go to it back then?
I don't think I ever did one.
It'd be like 4 finales, and they would just shoot them off in the parking lot. Like you couldn't stay in the stadium for it, and it was like the amount of fireworks that you'd put on a barge.
Yeah, they were. That's what he was saying. I mean, it was like
Wild.
Macy's parade type fireworks that like is very, very dangerous and should never happen. What do you think your weirdest like ballpark moment is? Do you have a story like that? Maybe not bleeding out, but any bizarre baseball moments where you were like, "What the fuck is going on?" I mean, I was there for the last day at Shea.
Oh,
I was just like, it was insane. It was crazy that season ending the way it did, and then having that ceremony was so Mets. I almost got killed by a line drive. I was sitting third base side, maybe 7 rows back, like really good tickets against the Phillies. I want to even say, I think it was Chase Utley. Chase Utley hit like a fucking ripped a line drive right at me, and my sister-in-law was coming back with like food or whatever. So she's just kind of like shuffling, like excuse me, like shuffling down the aisle, and steps right in front of me, and pow, just hits her right in the lower back. Like this must have had an exit velocity of like 120 miles an hour. And I mean, I remember like I was talking, I hear the crack of the bat, and by the time I turned, it would have taken my face off of my body. And by the grace of God, my sister-in-law just takes one for me, and she just froze, like one of those things, like I'm in so much pain, but I'm in public, and I don't want to cry, and I don't know what to do. And because she turned her back to scoot through, I don't think she even knew what happened. All of a sudden, it was just like a gunshot. But as much as that must have sucked for her, she probably saved my life. She certainly saved my face. And if it was, I want to say it was Chase Utley, but that might be me embellishing the story a bit. I know it was the Phillies, but if Chase Utley like killed me, took my life away, it probably would be fitting. Was it Chase Utley?
It was definitely Utley. Yeah.
Yes. And I remember being like, yes.
She still hates him.
Yeah.
He doesn't watch the game, but she hates his guts.
I mean, that's one of those things too, when like I remember the first time I brought Caitlin to the Bordy Barn, I sat her down and I was like, all right, babe, here's the deal. Like, this bar is different. Like, you're not going to wear any nice clothes. You got to put your phone in a plastic bag. And she was kind of like, what the fuck is this? And I'm like, get ready. And she was like, I think I can handle it. We're there for 2 minutes. My buddy scoops up his friend, like, you know, when you're like Shaq holding Kobe, where you're carrying the bride over the fucking. He's doing that, and he's just spinning 360s for fucking no reason. And this guy's head smashes right into at that time my girlfriend's eye. She has a black eye within like 30 seconds at the Bordy Barn. And it's just one of those things. It's like I was like, why not me? I wish it was me. Why does it have to be the girl that you convinced? You know, she didn't want to go to the game, and then she has to be the one who gets fucking ripped with a screaming line drive. It's always the way.
Yeah, well, she shouldn't have got up right streaming. It was way too early. We sat there.
It was her fault.
Like, well, we'll get food. This is fine, right? I'm like, this is the first inning. It wasn't the first, but it was early in the game. And I heard the crack of the bat. I turn, it screams right by me, and I wish it hit you. But, you know,
bro, it would have killed me. It would have fucking killed me. I would have been dead right there on the spot, which I guess would have been a more fitting. Okay, Matthew was at the game. So yeah, that was the Harvey's Better night. It was no, sorry, that was the Manhunt night. The Manhunt night when they caught homeboy in Boston. We were I was at the game. Everyone was chanting Harvey's Better, and Dave and Dan doing Manhunt shit. But that Bin Laden must have been a good one. Those are the fun things. Like, yeah, you've been there for. Hey, Brent, remember when we stayed for all the innings of the grand single game?
All of it. Right. We saw him hit that walk-off and definitely did not leave early.
For sure didn't leave early to that game at all. We didn't listen to that. We didn't listen to that in the car, on the radio, in the parking lot still. Not at all. We saw that fucking live. But yeah,
we did not leave right as Robin Ventura was going to bat.
I can't fault Mom in that one though. Mom put in a good fucking 13 innings and was like, guys, I gotta go home eventually. I was like, all right, Ma, you earned it. And then we were literally in the parking lot still. I was like, can we go back in or something? What the fuck?
The thing about like Mets fans is we're not built for October. Yankees fans, they're it's like a Florida resident. When someone moves to Florida and they come back and it's like, man, like, oh, it's cold. It's like, what are you talking about? It's cold. And it's like, you change, man. The Yankees fans are used to that, October weather. We're not used to it, so it probably wore her down. I was at the
Well, let me tell you something. Why I think she was really worn down. We were fighting with the guys behind us all game because we were standing up for every 2-strike count. We were cheering, we were up, and these guys were like, "Sit down in front." I was like, "Bro, it's the fucking playoffs. Like, suck my dick." And we were like upper deck. We weren't like with the the bougie seats where there's like different rules. So we were like, "Fuck you guys." And then I think I've even fabricated this tale so much because I had so much shame of losing early that I told people that we watched that home run and then we turned and we celebrated with the guys we were fighting with all night.
Oh, yeah, that was fiction. Yeah.
Completely fabricated. None of it happened.
We've been lying for a long time.
Long time. That was a deep moment of shame for me. I was there at that game but didn't get to witness it. Ugh, hurts.
I was at the fucking game. Remember the playoff game when it got canceled? It got rained out. Corey Lytle flew into a fucking building.
Oh, wow.
That was like surreal because we're just listening to the radio, like waiting for updates if they're going to play the game. And it was the Cardinals, supposed to be game one of the NLCS that year in 06. And then they're just like Corey Lytle, like went into a building, like what the fuck are you doing?
One of the weirdest things in history, like sports history, regular history ever. Corey Lytle, what a tragedy.
And then I did a game where my buddy and we went. I don't know if it was there's not a lot of days where the Mets and Yankees both play on the same day and at different times, but usually one will play a day game, one will play a night game. It happens, a few times a year. So we went to both games. We went to I think it was a Yankee day game against the Angels, and then we went to the Mets game at night, I believe. And we got to the Mets game, got there a little late. And we get in the game, and first thing we see is Victor Zambrano running off the mound after his arm broke. And I was like, well, this game is fucking over. And fucking day.
That's one of our LOL Mets moments that we never got through our tournament. Him running off the mound to never be seen again. Like I just never even forget about seeing him play again. I just don't think I ever saw him in existence again. He got Thanos snapped. He just was gone. Blipped him. Let's bring in everybody's favorite big man. Glenny Balls is backstage. Glennard.
How you doing, fellas?
Well, pretty fucking terrible. I'm in full-blown panic mode, but I know you're a pretty reasonable Mets fan, meaning that you know the deal. You know how this is.
Yeah, I mean, I've been watching this whole time, and I'm not nowhere near as pessimistic as Frank or you. But no, yeah, I know you just mentioned too, like the 18-year-old Mets fans. I'm not 18, but the first teams I do remember were kind of the 06 Mets. So I do have a little bit of a not that I should have a more positive outlook, but I do have a bit more positive outlook.
Yeah, you haven't seen, it's just a longevity thing. If you put another fucking 20 years behind you, and if all this losing keeps happening, and you'll eventually it's just life. It's like this is always what's happening. It's like the sun rises and the Mets end up losing, but I also feel like you're a happy guy. You like
I can't. I forgot how annoying this shit is. Like I've been doing group chats 24/7, complaining about fucking lineups and shit, and I'm just here to watch. I don't want to do this.
I wish I was just here to watch, but I see these things and it just drives me. It's a mental illness. I have a mental illness.
I have a lot of friends like you guys. Like I just said, my group chats every single day are just complaining about lineups and Conforto, and I'm just like, I just want to watch. I just want to watch.
But then when you watch it and you see dumb shit happen or we choke or we blow it, do you go into, like a bad loss for me, like a blown save? It ruins my week. Like I can't get it out of my head for days. Do you?
I mean, I like laughing. I laugh at it. I had like the other night. I was crying laughing when McCann dropped the ball at home. It was just funny.
I was crying. I wasn't laughing. I was just.
It's the Mets. What are you gonna do? And frankly, at the end of the day, we're 1-2. It's not the end of the world. I'm pretty content, honestly.
That's the thing, Lenny. If they just played defense at the end of that fucking game, we'd be 2-1 right now and be like, all right.
Exactly.
We've
Frankly,
always done that. It's not like A-Rod said the same thing pre-game of 2015. He says if the Mets catch and throw the ball, they'll win the World Series. And he was right. And if they did, we would have. But we don't, and we never do.
I don't know. This is gonna sound dumb, but we kind of outplayed the Phillies 2 nights ago. Kind of.
Yeah, we outplayed the Royals for fucking 90% of the goddamn World Series.
Exactly. I know. I don't know. I mean, like I said, we're 1-2. Let's see how we do tomorrow. I think we'll be too decent tomorrow. We got our boy Walker Star, and it's going to be a thrill.
I mean,
This
It's gonna be a grill, he says. What is that? What does that even fucking mean? Give me a Blue Mountain. Give me a.
We don't lose first games at Citi Field. Everybody knows that.
I feel like if Kevin and Glennie were like, if Glennie was in punching distance with Kevin, he might actually hit him if he saw him laughing during DeGrom's blown save.
Oh, if we were watching the game together, if we were doing like a fucking stream and he just started cackling, I would have punched you.
Oh,
right
I would have. I cackled the whole time.
Oh my God, the Glennie cackle.
All I'm saying is, as I'm watching that, all I'm telling myself, I was watching it with my dad and my friend because the national championship was on too, and all I'm telling myself was how I would love to just be in the bar with Jacob DeGrom, having a few drinks, to just be like, shoot me, fill me in, shoot me straight.
Yeah, tell me your real.
Tell me how you really fucking feel, pal.
We are in the trust tree. I'm not gonna post this. I just want to know your real thoughts. I just want him one day to just like. I feel like it would almost be better if he like closed door meeting in the clubhouse. He just closed the door behind him and he's like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, you're cool, fuck you, and let it all out. Because I think everybody on the team would be like, yeah, we deserve that. Like,
I mean, it truly is crazy. I mean, at a human level, you have to think he's fucking going insane.
He signed for $200 million less than he probably should have. And he never wins. And the team then, you know, when they go out the next day and put up 8 runs, you can't tell me that there's not a part of Jacob DeGrom. Yes, a big chunk of him is just happy that his team is winning. And then there's another part of him that's like, are you guys fucking kidding me? I'd be in that dugout like, where was that last night, dipshits? What the fuck is going on?
It is scary. Like, I know obviously we got a new regime, but there is still some shit that just stays the same.
Yes.
And like you think about Johan. Remember how good Johan was when we first fucking got him? Same shit.
Yeah,
same shit.
That's what scares me is same old Mets. And like until it's so early, you know, so maybe they do break all these habits, but it's a lot of the same old bad habits that have always been our undoing. And it's like the lineup you got to trust will get some clutch hitting going. But as far as like good defense, like we're not the best defensive team by any means. And as far as good bullpen, tell me why that bullpen's going to turn around. Maybe Lugo, but.
See, this is what I have to say about the lineup, though. Like, obviously, I feel like we're all in agreement that Dom should be playing every day, obviously.
Absolutely.
But I know he's not the best fielder. I kind of don't care. Like, I'm like, fuck it.
Well, you know what? It's like
baseball. How often is there going to be an error, you know?
Like, all the time. But that's my point is we always stink defensively. So, like, why get, like, a little bit better on defense, even though we're going to still suck, and sacrifice all that offense? Like, let's slug our way through it because we're not doing it with the leather, folks.
I mean, if he's playing left, let's see the statistics. How many times does the ball really hit the left field throughout the game?
Like 3 times a game. No
Just has to make 2 catches. We'll be happy.
That's why also baseball is so annoying because the ball always finds the guy who's in there for the wrong reason.
Oh, I know.
Position. I mean, it's just.
Oh, I know.
I mean, Lucas Duda. You know, like these things just happen where it's like, yeah.
It is. That really is true. I've won some league championships over that.
Yeah, I mean. That is the type of shit that seems to always happen in this whole sport of baseball, and then with the Mets juju on top of it. But I would rather be like, you know, let's give up 8, but we're gonna score 9 because we just have our sluggers out there because we ain't gonna be good defensively.
Absolutely, I'm full blown offense in all sports in 2020, 2021. I'm an offense guy.
Yes, I'm with you on that, man.
I'm not even saying that because I'm like I like to bet overs. Like offense beats defense now in every sport, pretty much.
Yeah, pitching and defense in the playoffs.
No, it's true. Every sport, it's offense. Sports is now offense. Shit's evolving.
At least, you know, for the postseason, it really does tend to be like pitching and defense, but you got to get there first. So let's slug our fucking way there, and then, you know, hopefully we tighten up with the gloves for October. But I think. I'm with Glennie. It's like yeah, betting overs. Like just bet on offense. Let's just swing our fucking way.
And I did see one comment earlier saying that you gotta stay afloat till we get Carrasco and Noah back, which I think is fair. As long as we can stay remotely afloat. What?
Do we know when he's back? Do we know when Noah?
I think Noah's like June.
Yeah,
it's still June.
I know this is for every Tommy John, but it feels like he's been gone for like 3 years. It's crazy to me.
He's like a guy that's like Cespedes, where I just feel like he's always gone. He's just never here.
Which also scares me. It's like, do we really? If Noah was like a lights out, healthy, good pitcher all the time, and then he was coming back from this one instance, I'd be like, all right, let's go. But Like, do we have hope that he's going to really just like bounce back to Thor, or are we going to get Loki? You know,
even that, but that's my one thing. That's my one wish for the Mets. Watching the last 10 years or so, and we've had Eric Campbell playing third or David Peterson pitching, like Rico was saying, a guy who should be fucking selling car insurance in Belleville. As long as we don't get to that, as long as there's like major leaguers playing when people get hurt, I don't really care.
Now I'm with you on that. Like, I think hopefully the one thing I think we can say is through the Cohen era, I think we'll have like major league ball players. Now that quadruple A bullshit.
Yeah.
I hope that
if someone gets hurt, I just want a name I know to play.
Yes, I'm with you on that.
I don't want Colin Cowgill to play.
Yeah. Oh my God. Some of those names, man.
There's so many.
Can you believe that in the World Series year that we had that lineup of like Campbell and Mayberry Jr.
Mayberry Jr.
I mean,
Mayberry Jr. batting cleanup.
The worst lineup of all time, and then Cespedes like turned it all around with like 1 month of play. God, that was awesome.
That's the one I always think about. Eric Campbell and Ty Kelly. Those are the two names I always think about.
Ty Kelly.
Ty Kelly's great on Twitter too. You ever see him?
It's funny.
Where he just knows it, where he's just like, yeah, I don't know what I was doing in Major League Baseball. It's amazing. Incredible.
I love Glenny's vibes here, though. This is like no Mets fans need to hear this. Like, I feel like I can usually get some positive, but Glenny just, I mean, laughing might enrage some people, but I think some people need that from Glenny. They just need.
Oh no, I should have filmed myself. I was literally just sitting there laughing, just straight up sitting there laughing.
That to me, like when Mickey Callaway was laughing, when Chapman loses every fucking postseason for the Yankees and he just laughs. You can't laugh. Like, I don't want to hear you laughing, Glenny. None of
That's
that.
why I could never be a manager. Imagine if my team lost and I was just sitting there laughing.
Oh, you kill Frank. You would kill Frank.
Yeah,
I don't know how the tank would react to the laughs. That would scare me.
Oh, he would kill. It would be like a murder suicide.
Well,
Kill you
Mickey Callaway laughed. Remember when Mickey Callaway laughed? He just ranted for like 3 fucking hours.
He ate his hat. He ate a hat and his shirt. All just because of Mickey Callaway laughing like one time.
Oh yeah, I've been seeing Tank eat the hat a lot recently. Whenever you bring up anything, the Tank's been big on his hat.
He's eating the hat and he's doing like like before he talks, he goes like stutter mode. He's not gonna last 160 more of these, 159 more of these. I mean,
I hope we start winning for 10. But I'm interested to see though, like the Tank went viral after obviously 2015, yes, because I was working at Barcelona, remember that. So that was like what, maybe 17 or 18. I would like to see the Tank when the Mets are good. Do you think he'll be a happy guy, or he'll be one of those guys that are always sad?
Glenny, is that the stupidest question that has ever been asked? Of course, he's always going to be sad.
You were happy when the Mets were good.
Yeah, but listen, as negative as I am light years more positive than Frank the Tank. And I almost don't even.
But we don't know. We don't know. Maybe he is a happy guy when the Mets are good. We don't know.
That would be crazy. Like I always picture him like the Major League guy. By the way, Major League came out 32 years ago today.
God.
I mean, we are so old, man. But I feel like he'll be the guy like booing them into the last minute, and then he turns the hat around and he's like, "Let's go, Mets." But I don't know. I could also see him just being like Game 7 of the World Series, like final out in the glove. The Mets have won. And he'll be like, they're not going to repeat. How are they going to win next year? You know, it's.
I don't even know. I just see so many negative tweets from the Tank. If someone hits a home run, does he tweet like Pete Polar Bear, like "Let's go"?
No,
or he goes
he goes out for the shutdown. Like if you look at his timeline, like when the Mets, like 2 nights ago when the Mets won, or last night when the Mets won, what was it, 8-4 or whatever? Mm-hmm. If you just looked at his timeline, he said, "What is the final score of this game?" You'd think it was like 17-3 Phillies.
He does when I think when the Mets are playing well, he just switches over to hating on the Progressive commercials. He just hates Progressive. So he just switches.
The other day, I saw him tweet like when they were blowing the game. I saw him tweet like ZZZZ Jamie from Progressive, ZZZZ Progressive ZZZ. I don't know what that means.
Nobody knows. Incredible. He's an enigma, man. He's like, it's a whole experience just following along with him. So, all right, I like where your head's at, Glenny. It's like you're realistic, but you're just here to watch.
No, I'm just here to watch. Have a nice time watching, and like we said, we're 3 games in. We're 1-2. There's 159 games left.
Let me say this too. I think Glenny is actually good. Where I feel like this laughing and whatever, like, oh, we'll see how it pans out. If this was the Rangers, Glenny is not this man. I think this is a
you're a different guy.
Be the same way with the Rangers?
No, I feel like you're a crazy person with the Rangers. So the Mets are almost like the thing that kind of calms you down. Where the Rangers, I feel like you're losing your fucking mind 3 games into the season.
I'm a crazy person with the Rangers, but I'm still not like pessimistic. I'm a very optimistic Rangers fan. Very optimistic. I'm a very optimistic fan, really.
You're an optimistic guy. You know, you like Hawaii. hang out.
I mean, the Rangers are like by far my number one team that I'm like obsessed over. Then the Mets and Giants are right there, second and third. But the Rangers, I'm a crazy person. I've cried many a times, even in high school. Oh yeah,
Wow.
right here in this seat, many times.
Plenty tears, huh?
I'm a cry guy. Yeah.
Wow, I would love to see that.
I'm a blackout drunken cry guy.
I'd like to watch games with you as long as you promise not to cackle at me. If you're going to cackle in our bad moments, I don't know if I could do it. But otherwise, I think I would love the balls experience watching some ball games.
Yeah, I mean, it's baseball's about fun, you know?
Oh, no.
It's not him, Glenny. Tell him. Chill out. Coors Light.
Blue Mountains, baby.
Chill out.
Blue Mountains. All right, Glenny Balls. Thank you for your appearance, brother. We'll see you next year for the next gala. All right, Clem. I guess we could play one more. We'll play one more clip here from another. We got to get our man Meek Phil in here. He had some takes in general about baseball, but we'd be remiss to not include Meek Phil in our gala. So we'll play that, and then we'll give you some final thoughts, and we'll wrap up the first ever We Gotta Believe Gala. Kyle, let it rip.
All right.
I can't believe BC's wife got hit by
Hey guys, it's Meek Phil from Twitter. I'm very excited for the 2021 New York Mets. Hopefully Steve Cohen doesn't have any major incidents for us this year, such as wild boars or botched eulogies or elbows the size of grapefruits.
Oh, grapefruits.
He's got a competent baseball team this year. I'm not going to go to certain lengths as Clem and say 96 wins. I'll let him have the most optimistic view. I have the Mets at 95 wins. I have hot takes that I think, well, not hot takes. I think they're decent chance they happen. I think that Taijuan Walker will end up having a better season than Trevor Bauer this year. I fully believe that. It's not me trolling whatsoever. I think by mid-season we're gonna start to realize okay, maybe it was a good thing the Mets didn't get any of Bauer, Real Muto, Springer. Maybe all those guys are sunk costs. I think that'll end up happening mid-season. That we'll just be thankful that we did not give any of those guys a contract. I think the Mets will have 4 All-Stars on their roster, including Edwin Diaz. Kyle, you can edit this part out if he blows a save before the episode drops. And this is gonna be a really good team. I think there's a chance they lead the National League in home runs. I think this is a very good lineup. I'm more excited about the lineup than the pitching, honestly. But I'm very excited for this season, and I can't wait to follow along with everybody on Twitter.
I feel like that's all very logical. Well, I think the Trevor Bauer thing would be great. I would love nothing more than for Trevor Bauer to fall flat on his face. I do genuinely believe that Springer and Bauer were not the right moves. I think Real Muto would have been nice, but I think he would have cost like $200 million if he was leaving the Phillies. You know what I mean? So I don't think – what did he end up signing for? It wasn't anything close to that. It was still a lot, right?
Catching record, but it was –
yeah, it was like 120 or whatever it was. It was still a big number, but I feel like we would have had to pay even more to lure him away. So that would have probably ended up being a bad idea too. So I don't lose sleep over that. But it would be nice to see Bauer falter. Has he
115 over 5? That was Bauer. 115. Realmuto 115 over 5.
You know,
I mean, but McCann's 40 over 4. McCann's contract dirt cheap.
McCann's contract allows for Lindor's contract to take place, and then Conforto and all these other Real Muto would have tied up everything
for sure. But also, it shouldn't be that way. It should Cohen should be able to do that. 115 is not crazy when he's. I mean, when he beat out that ground ball the other day to Lindor, he just fucking ground ball to short routine. He was just safe. He's a fucking catcher. I mean, it was crazy. So, I mean, he's a good player. That would be the only one that I think if McCann falters this year, people could point at that one. I'm okay with Bauer and Springer, though. I don't think those were the right moves. I'm okay with those being non-moves. But everything he's saying, they should almost, I would imagine, lead the NL in home runs. It should be a good team and still probably will be a good competitive team, contender, but boy, could not have been a slower start. But I'll take a slow start if it means a strong finish, because we've had strong starts and slow finishes basically my entire life. So maybe this is we just got to flip the juju.
That's exactly it. Fucking opening day. That was a good opening day loss. I'm so happy. I'm so happy you mushed us when you said everything's going to be good. We lost the first 3 games. We lost all the pomp, all the circumstance, which we'll be getting tomorrow. Opening day, we're going to get fucking – did you hear Gary actually said the pomp and circumstance tomorrow? It doesn't feel like opening day until you get it. I was like, that's right, Gary.
Give me some circumstance. Let's make sure Haji gets fed. Let's make sure Keith gets back in his house. I mean, that was Is that not the perfect Keith being like, I don't even want to tell this story. Like, it's like there's so many moving parts. It's such a mouthful. But those guys were just doing a podcast that night. They, in between, Gary would give you the count and where the ball is. Otherwise, it's just three dudes podcasting in the middle of a baseball game. They are the only thing. No, Jacob deGrom, Gary, Keith, and Ron are the only things in this life that you can absolutely take to the bank with the New York Mets. You're going to get legendary performances out of those four men every single time, no doubt about it. And that's the only thing. Everything else is up in the air. I think Lindor is going to be a sure thing. I think Alonso is going to be a sure thing with his power, at least. I think Dom Smith is like the best player on the fucking team aside from Lindor. It's crazy that he's the one. It's crazy that in New York you have Clint Frazier and Dom Smith, like these two awesome players that these teams just refuse to make like the true starters that they are. But a lot of uncertainty, at least in the early going. But at least we'll always have Jake and always have Gary, Keith, and Ron, and always set our clock to that. And our Coors Lights and our Blue Mountains.
Our Coors Lights.
The only things in life that are guaranteed. Shout out to Coors Light, sponsoring the Gala, sponsoring our episodes, our Instagram takeovers. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, Gotta Believe Pod. On Instagram, we Gotta Believe, where we're doing most of our takeovers. Coors has been great to us, so we got to return the favor to them. So support Coors while you support the Mets. We got Lindor Day on Saturday with a kind of an altered Barstool at the ballpark. So shout out to everyone who bought tickets for that and are still showing up to support the team. We'll be out there at all the events later in the year. But, yeah, I mean, the Gala, we wanted it to be under different circumstances. We wanted it to be a different vibe. We wanted it to be a celebration. Instead, it ended up being more of a therapy session. But what's more fitting than that? What is more Mets than that? It turned into an hour and a half Mets Fans Anonymous meeting, which I think is maybe more important than pomp and circumstance and pageantry and champagne and getting ahead of ourselves. Leave that to Cohen. Leave that to the rich folks. Us Mets fans, we got to hold it down in the foxhole here. So we're coming home. Home opener. Jake's coming back up in the rotation. That's always like, it's coming up around the horizon.
On Lindor Day, no less.
Yep. And so, and the weather warms up, the balls start flying, the offense starts cooking. As long as we can just fucking navigate that bullpen, get the Puerto Rican back, get Carrasco back, get Diaz in the game a few fucking times, and maybe we don't have to see some of these jamokes as often as we have seen them. But we'll leave you with Clem. I mean, you're staying firm on 96, huh?
We gotta believe.
Gotta believe.
Don't you shake your heads. Gotta believe.